Okay.
You're live.
I'm calling the meeting to order. It is 6:04. This is the meeting of the Pembroke Park Charter Review Committee on Monday, October 25th.
Wait, hold on 1 second. There we go. Thank you.
Okay, so we will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
They have to share that one. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, possibly close that blind.
Oh, sure.
Right there, that light. Some. Thank you.
So we're going to do a roll call.
Correct. Ms. Weber? Here. Ms. Walker?
Here.
Ms. Cunningham?
Here.
Mr. Schrader?
Here.
Ms. Bianca?
Present.
All present. You have a quorum.
Has every member had chance to review the meeting minutes from last meeting?
Does everybody have a copy that they can review if you didn't get a chance to review it before?
I don't think we have a physical copy. We were emailed a copy.
Yes.
Yeah, usually they have them in front of us.
At the last meeting. If you print them, I will run up and get them.
Okay. They're actually up on the screen. I don't know if you want to take a moment because they're only one page. So,
Is it okay? Or do you want us to print out? Okay, let's print out. Let's print them out.
I'll be back.
So that's the agenda. Thank you. My apologies. Again, we're short-staffed, so it's a work in progress. I tell you what, why don't we, Chair Buchanan, go ahead and have the Finance Department put on their presentation, and then we can skip back to minutes when he's done. That way we're not wasting time. Is that, oh, but she's got your, no, she's got your presentation.
Start? All right. Good evening, committee. My name is Harry Taubenfeld. I am the Budget and Finance Director for the town of Pembroke Park. I've been here actually 3 years tomorrow, will be my official 3 years tomorrow. I'm here to present to you some changes that the Finance Department would like to make to the charter. Specifically, if you go to the next slide, please.
Yes.
It is section 24-102, disbursements by checks. Currently, the town, the way that it's structured in the town, the charter stipulates the only members who are allowed to be check signers on all the accounts here at the town are the commission, the members of the commission. Unfortunately, when at the time the charter was written, obviously there were 5 commissioners, but right now we are stuck. The town is limited and only has 3 commissioners due to some resignations last year. While that was happening, the town did. If you go to the next slide, please. I'm sorry. did put a resolution forward, which the commission did approve, where they did allow the town manager to give the town manager the ability to be a check signer on the account. So what we're asking for now is, if you go to the next page, is to also, is to add the town manager, officially to add the town manager to the charter, as well as add the finance director, myself, to give the ability to sign checks. One of the major challenges that we have here, obviously, is getting the commissioners to sign checks. With the limited capacity of only having 3, and 2 of them working full-time, it really makes it very difficult for us to pay the town to pay its bills in a timely fashion. One of the edicts that was given to me by the commission is, hey, what can we do to improve our credit? One thing I think we could possibly do is obviously limit the time that we have to sit and wait for checks to be signed. The average waiting period for check approval, unfortunately for the commissioners, is anywhere between 5 and 7 days. Then we have to process the checks, send the checks out. So it also, so you're adding anywhere between, I would say, 7 to 10 days of time before the actual vendor receives their payment. I feel that by adding myself to the process, as well as the town manager, we could actually cut that down by a minimum of 5 to 7 days, which would definitely expedite the checks being released, and obviously the vendors receiving the payment, which ultimately benefit the town by improving their credit throughout the industry. That's really it. That's really all I have at this point, to be honest with you. Everything else seems to be running status quo. We did implement the new financial software, which helped us automate and streamline some of the processes. But again, by adding this one last step, I do believe it will enhance it, and make the situation a lot better for the town. If you guys have any questions, I'm here to answer them for you.
So you would like to add the town manager's name to the commissioners, or?
No, I want to add the town manager as an authorized check signer, and I want to add myself as well as an authorized check signer.
So you
on
would
the
like
accounts.
just the 2 people?
No, I want to add us, in addition to the commissioners, add myself as well as the town manager, giving us the capability and the flexibility, so that if a commissioner is not available to sign the checks, that the town manager and myself have the authority to sign the checks.
So are you going to make them aware of that first to sign them, and then if they can't come, you sign them, or just?
Well, part of the approval process right now requires the authorization of the commissioners before we initiate any checks, we are required to seek commissioner approval. So it's part of the process that we've implemented with the new financial software. But we cannot print checks unless we have commissioner approval. So once
By
we
that meaning over the phone, or come in person, or what?
Right now it's via email. We're working with the software company where the commissioners have access to the financial software. We did run into a little bit snag with the financial software company where the commissioners do not have the ability to drill down to the actual invoice, which is what they want to see, and which obviously we want to be able to give them. So we're working through that process. So right now, we're sending them a list of checks, asking them for their approval. If they have any questions regarding any of the invoices, to let us know, and then we'll supply them with that documentation.
On the list to sign off a check.
Right now, it requires 2 check signers. Every check requires a minimum of 2 signers on any check.
So you said you guys are late paying bills because of the.
We're late paying bills because we're limited on who the check signers are. We have when the commission normally the commission has 5 commissioners, but over the last year we lost 2 commissioners due to retirement, so we're down to 3. 2 of the 3 are, again, like I said before, are working full time. So it really limits our ability to be able to get the approval and get the check signed. So that's kind of where I'm coming from, trying to see what, to add myself as well as the town manager, so that, once we get the approval from the commission, we can go ahead and sign those checks and get them out the door as quickly as we can.
So you would see yourself as and the town manager signing the majority of the checks, probably?
Ideally, yes. I mean, again, I'm open to suggestions if it requires.
And the commissioners will get to see it on the
The commissioners the commissioners will always see the checks before they are released. It's just a question of getting them to come in and sign the checks. So that's
They
where.
would still have to approve.
sorry?
They would still have to approve.
Oh, absolutely. It's part of, that's also part of the charter. That's something that we don't want to change. Anything over $1,500, any purchase over $1,500 requires a commission approval.
Know where that is exactly on the charter?
No, we changed that.
I'm sorry.
It's not in the charter, that's in the code.
I'm sorry. So we changed the procurement policy just last month, I apologize, from $1,500 to $10,000. So any charge over $10,000 currently requires commission approval. The commission did give the authority for anything under the town manager approval for anything under $10,000.
And where is the language that the commissioners sign the checks in the?
So Harry is citing a portion of the code, it's actually not in the charter. He's looking at 24-102,
-102.
and that's in the code. The section of the charter which deals with finances is, and it's really an out-of-date section. If you look at the City of Fort Lauderdale charter, which we handed out last time we're here, and we're not going to do the finance section of the charter today. We're going to do it at a later date. But when I'm just introducing Harry, and we're introducing the issues, and we're going to come back and revisit it. We're going to do another issue later today. But when we do get to the finance portion, we'll take a look at the City of Fort Lauderdale charter that I handed out, and you'll see they have a very extensive section in their charter about finances. And so, and Harry, I'll give it to you to look at too. The current section that we have in our charter is just, it needs to be fleshed out and elaborated on and improved, really. And that particular section of the code that Harry's talking about also needs to be changed.
Got it, okay.
So that's the overview of where we are with the finance department and the charter.
So essentially, once the code is stamped, we would be incorporating that into the new charter.
So we could, I mean, the charter is a lot harder to change than the town code, right? The town code only takes a vote of the town commission. The charter that you guys are sitting here today and will make recommendations to the commission on, the charter can only be changed by a referendum. And so the section of the charter that we're going to look at when we discuss finances is section 18. And in that section, in the finance portion of the charter, we should put who has the authority to sign checks and obligate the town. That will go in there. In the meantime, we can change that portion of the code that has that section in it.
Okay, thank you.
Why we did it by resolution. We're going to come back and revisit the finance portion of the charter. Harry is just here today telling us about the finance department and the provisions in the code and the charter that he thinks particularly affect his department. So if you have any questions about Harry for the finance department, ask while he is here, and he's able to.
So we are the one who's going to vote on him to be one of the signer?
Well, it won't be just him. It'll be the Department of Finance Director, or the position of Finance Director. You will vote on you're going to vote on, what is going to happen at the end of this process, which is probably going to be 7 or 8 months from now, is you're going to have a lot of things to vote on. And one of those things will be a section of the charter dealing with finance. I haven't decided how I'm going to bring the charter to you yet, in pieces or as a whole. I have to research that and figure it out. But for sure, one of the things that's going to come to you is that section on finances.
Final approval will be by the commission.
And then when you guys make your recommendation, that recommendation goes to the commission. The commission will decide what goes on the referendum, and then it will go to the voters. So it doesn't get past you guys. If it doesn't get past you guys, it obviously doesn't get to the commission. You guys have any questions for Harry on finance, his role, what the department does?
So I got a little brief history. So just my two main responsibilities here at the town of Pembroke Park are the annual budget, as well as the annual audit. Those are my two main responsibilities, as well as being the chief procurement officer for the town. With Melissa's assistance, we oversee all the procurement. As I mentioned earlier, we just changed the procurement policy, what the thresholds are as far as what the thresholds are for each department as far as what they can and cannot do with commission approval. I currently have 3 people who work for me. One lady handles the accounts payable as well as my accounts payable purchasing clerk. We have a second individual who handles the accounts receivables as well as the payroll for the town, and the third individual who works with me, I should say, handles the business tax receipts for the town. So she handles all the annual billing and the collections for all the business tax receipts for all the local businesses in the town. So I oversee the three ladies, as I mentioned before, as well as the annual budget and the audit.
Walker, did you have a question? I saw your hand.
Adjusting my mask.
No worries.
Oh,
Any questions? Nope. Okay. Well, thank you for your time, and have a good night.
I am.
Thank you,
thank you,
Harry.
Harry. All right, so now we're gonna go back to the minutes.
Okay.
Sorry, I know I'm switching us.
I do apologize. I know
It's-
that the original email that went out said the August minutes. And just a little while ago, a couple of hours ago, I sent out the September minutes, actually because the chair had asked if I had the right minutes uploaded. So those have been uploaded. Just so that you're aware of, because we're trying to go paperless, that's one of the reasons why you don't have like packets of the agenda in front of you. We do have iPads that may be what I bring out next time, so that then you're able to see the agenda, but I also provided to you on the television as well.
All right, so I'm gonna let you, Chair, take back over now that we're back.
Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes from the last meeting?
If you like, you can defer them to the end of the meeting so that everybody has a chance to look at them, or give them a few minutes if you want to continue with the current agenda.
Allow a few minutes to review. I would ask a member of the board to motion on approval of the minutes.
I make a motion, we approve the minutes from the October, or the
September.
September 27th.
Minutes for September 27th.
Currently you have a motion made by Mr. Schrader, seconded by Ms. Cunningham. I'm going to do roll call now.
For the vote, she's doing roll call for the vote. She's doing roll call for the vote.
Correct.
I remember a lot from.
Not for
Ms.
who's here.
Weber?
Before.
Ms. Walker? Ms. Cunningham? Mr. Schrader?
Yes, approved.
Ms. Buchanan?
Approved.
Motion passes 5-0. You can just read out the caption that we're going next. So it's number 6.
Okay, so new business.
Correct.
And next on the agenda is a presentation from the attorney.
So, we're going to talk a little bit about the most basic thing that we discussed last week, which is forms of government. And in our charter, it is sections 15 and 16 in our charter, which is the last slide on there, so I'm not going to make her go all the way to the end, but, and you know what, did we not print this out for them either? We didn't print it out. Okay. So if you look at the screen, those are the last two sections, or those are the sections we're discussing, and also you should have a copy of your charter in your notebook, so it should be in there. Sections 15 and 16. And those are the two sections of the charter really which purport to create a commission form of government. And so, which, as you'll find, as you'll discover, which I didn't even know when I was putting this together, there really aren't any commission forms of local government left anymore in the United States except for one, and that's in Portland, Oregon, and that is changing. So we'll get to that, but I wanted to briefly talk about forms of government and what it means to the town to have, or to purportedly have, a commission form of government, which we really don't have, or haven't had for years if we ever had one. Section 15 of our charter currently reads, "For the purpose of systematically handling the government, the commission shall create the following departments, and one commissioner shall have charge of each department. Executive department in charge thereof to be ex officio the mayor, Department of Taxes." By the way, we don't have an executive department, and we don't have a Department of Taxes. Department of Taxes, the commissioner in charge thereof to be the clerk. Department of Finance, the commissioner in charge thereof to be the vice mayor. Department of Health and Zoning, we don't have a Department of Health and Zoning. One of the commissioners as is designated by a resolution of the commission, and Department of Public Works and Water. One of the other commissioners as is designated by resolution by the commission. And then section 16 goes on to provide that the commissioner who serves as the Public Works Commissioner gets paid extra for that. So again, this was written almost 70 years ago, this language, and it hasn't been revisited since. The charter's been changed a little bit in the interim, but these particular sections have not been changed. And the commission form of government really doesn't work in this town, and it doesn't work in general, I think, is what local governments, at least in the United States, have figured out. So if you can go back to the first slide, or the second slide.
May I interject, please?
Sure, go ahead.
You're reading section 16, that they're supposed to, like, the compensation, but the paper that I have said shall not receive additional compensation.
That section provides that if there is a commissioner that is going to direct public works, that commissioner can get extra compensation, basically. Provides.
Except for?
Except as to the public works. The way it reads is confusing, but what section 16 means
Shall not
is,
receive no additional.
the end of that sentence says, for such service, except as to the public works director. Meaning the public works director theoretically is allowed to receive extra compensation for the commissioner who is acting as the public works director, which doesn't exist, doesn't function that way. But if it did, they'd be allowed to get paid more. But it doesn't function that way, so it doesn't make any difference. Both of these sections need to be deleted or changed from the charter. Town doesn't function this way. It hasn't functioned this way in years, if it ever functioned this way, and it can't function this way. It just wouldn't work. So if you go back to the second slide, I want to talk a little bit about forms of government, general local government concepts. Our town commission is an elected body. They're a legislative body. And the charter, which you guys are here to change or make recommendations about changing, is what governs us as the town. The three forms of strong government, the three forms of government in the United States, forms of local government in the United States are strong mayor government, commissioner-manager government, and then commission form of government. Really, the only two forms of government you're going to see are strong mayor and commissioner-manager form of government. And essentially what we have here today in this town, which works, and which I think we would recommend that you incorporate into the charter so that it correctly reflects the way we're operating, is commission-manager form of government. We have a town manager, and we're supposed to have 5 commissioners. We only have 3 sitting commissioners, but we're supposed to have 5 commissioners that act as a legislative policy-making body. And I want to give you an example of a strong mayor form of government, though, in case you want to see something like that. In the state of Florida, a strong mayor form of government is, if you go to the next slide, the city of West Palm Beach is a strong mayor form of government. I represented the city of West Palm Beach for a little bit, and it actually operated really well as a strong mayor form of government. Their mayor was elected, but their mayor also acted, and West Palm is interesting. It's actually sort of a hybrid because it has a strong mayor, and the mayor does run the town, does all the hiring and firing, but there's also a city manager. Because West Palm is so big, really the mayor needs assistance. And so there's a city manager, but the mayor is the top executive, and the mayor runs the town, hires and fires people, has all the authority of a normal, strong mayor government. So that's an example of a strong mayor government. So if you go to the next slide, commissioner-manager form of government, which is what we have here, is where the commissioners sit as a legislative body, and no one commissioner is more powerful than the other commissioners, unless you're the mayor, a weak mayor, not a strong mayor, but a weak mayor. And what a weak mayor basically does is run the commission meetings. Doesn't have any greater say in things, isn't allowed to veto anybody, simply runs the commission meetings. An example of, and this is the best way to avoid corruption, this type of government. Go to the next slide, an example of a commission form of government, commissioner-manager form of government, is City of Fort Lauderdale, right here. They have 5 commissioners, all of the commissioners, even though there's a mayor, that mayor is a weak mayor. The mayor doesn't run the government. The mayor can't veto anybody. The mayor simply runs the meetings. That is a commissioner-manager form of government. And then I actually found the last existing commission form of government in the United States, and that's what this charter initially was initially possibly run that way. I don't really know, but it hasn't in a long time. And in that case, each of the commissioners, and in the case of Portland, Oregon, you can go to the next slide. This is their charter, and each of those commissioners, if you go right now to their website, and I went and looked at it, each of the city commissioners, sitting commissioners, acts as the head of a department. And that's how the government is run. However, Portland doesn't like it. And it's changing. And the article that I read today, which was published in the beginning of October of this year, and you can look it up too, says it's the only remaining commission form of government in the United States. The only local government that runs that way anymore, which I believe. Because really, as a practicality, if you think about it, maybe a government the size of Portland could have commissioners who run things. But if you're going to have a commissioner who's running something like the Public Works Department, you got to have somebody who's qualified, right? You're going to have to pay that commissioner a good, decent professional salary for an engineer or the type of, you got to have a qualified commissioner. You can't just have Joe Blow running the shop if, you know, so I think that's why one of the reasons commissioner form of government doesn't work. It's just a highly, these are really most of the time, these are highly technical professional positions, such as Department of Finance, Department of Public Works. If you elect somebody to be in that job, I mean, chances are, how well are they going to do it? They're probably going to have to hire people to help them, right? So you're just going to spend more money hiring people to help you out. They're changing this. They don't like it. They're reviewing their charter right now as we speak, and it will probably change. And our little tiny town should also change its charter. That's my recommendation and the recommendation of the rest of the staff. And we should probably put something similar to the city of Fort Lauderdale in our charter to recognize it as a commissioner-manager form of government, so that there's no longer any confusion about who is running what department. When I first started working here a year ago, literally there was a commissioner who would show up at the Public Works Department every single day and give them instructions on what to do. And it just created havoc, and it created a mess in the Public Works Department. And we finally were able to get the commissioner to stop doing that. We've moved on. We have a fabulous new Public Works Director who's in the audience right now, and he's going to give us a presentation next week on his department and who he is and how his department runs. And he's going to tell you a little bit about how having that particular provision, having this section 15 and 16 in the town of Pembroke Park Charter created confusion, allowed questionable stuff to happen, allowed commissioners to really interact with staff probably in a way that wasn't the best for the town. We've gotten away from that. I mean, all of the staff you see in the room today, as well as other people you don't see here today, have worked really hard. Clerk, town planner, public works director, finance, town manager is not here, but to get this town beyond the things that, you know, had the town is being investigated by the Investigator General's office. There's a reason for that. And these two charter provisions are one of the main reasons, because it blurred the lines between what commissioners were supposed to be doing and what staff members and staff people were supposed to be doing. And so with that, I'm going to open it up to you guys for discussion, for questions, for just general conversation, because that's what we're here.
I have a question. What you're saying, when you were speaking on it, my mind was going like, really? But what you're saying is that we have commissioners that are not educated in certain areas, telling an area how to run that area.
We did, yes, we did.
That's what we have right now in the.
Well, we don't anymore, but for a long time we did, yes.
Wow, okay.
But if they were authorized to do that, how did you change it?
You know, I think it has changed over the years with the recognition that, if you can go, yeah, with the recognition that this was not working. It was not working to have commissioners try to direct the Department of Public Works. Because it just wasn't working, because the town was falling apart, because things weren't getting done.
Didn't the Public Works have their manager? Did they have a manager?
Yeah, but when you've, in my experience, what I witnessed, and I'm going to let the Public Works Director address it when he comes up here, and he can come up in here and address it now if he wants, but when you have somebody directing the Public Works Department who's not a professional and doesn't really know what they're doing, there's no direction. There was no, in my opinion, in my professional opinion, there was no greater, there was no direction. There was no overarching policy direction the town was going in.
So you didn't have a proper manager.
Correct.
You have one now?
Yes. Yes. And things are working very well, but because this language still remains in the charter, it's just not, it's bad language, and it's created conflicts over the years, and it's one of the main things that the Investigator General's office said should be changed, and then there is, if you guys ever want to take a look at the consultant, the report that she wrote, the O.L. Wingo report that the consultant wrote, she also recommended changing this language and making it very clear that the town is a commissioner-manager form of government. It is not a commissioner form of government. It can't be. We just don't have the resources. Even a city like Portland, Oregon, which is huge and has millions of dollars, can't operate that way. So.
I have a question. It
Sure.
might be stupid.
No, there are no stupid questions.
Is the commissioner a paid position?
Commissioners all are paid 40,000. Yes, it is a paid position, and there are health
Yearly
benefits.
salary, monthly salary?
The annual is 40. I think it's $40,000 a year.
And it's paid monthly. It's 42,000, I'm sorry.
42,000 a year, paid monthly.
The commissioners have paid $42,000 a year, paid monthly, $3,500 per month, as well as benefits. And
pension.
pension as well, yes. Currently, I believe it's 13 years, correct? 13 years in order for them to be vested for pension.
But that salary is so that they can come here and be policymakers and be the legislative policymakers they're supposed to be. You know, just like people in Congress are paid a salary.
Now, is that a job they need to spend 40 hours a week, or is it just up to them, or how's that work?
You know, it's up to them. It's not a job. They're not required to be here. They're required to be here and vote on things at meetings. Most of them devote a good amount of time to this position, and some of them at times are here almost on a full-time basis, just depending on what they do. They all work really hard, and they earn their money and the benefits, but they're certainly not getting paid the salary of a public works director or a finance director or a town attorney or a town manager, you know. And all public officials, all elected officials, almost all that I know of, are paid a
Well,
salary.
and you just said I think he said a little while ago, somebody said a little while ago that deal with the check. Sometimes the guys are even around to sign the check.
Right, yeah, I mean, they don't have to be here. They're not required to be here.
So some of them have other jobs.
Oh, they absolutely, all of them have other jobs.
So this would be the part-time job.
This is a part-time job, yes.
But don't they have a responsibility, like when the check's supposed to be signed, to be available, or it's not?
Well, again,
Is there no like turnaround required time? Nothing.
well, they all have jobs. They all have jobs. Ms. Weber?
No, I was just saying, it sounds to me like the main problem is that we're supposed to have 5 commissioners and we only have 3.
Well, that's one of the problems, yes.
I'm wondering if maybe that's not the issue as opposed to adding more people who can sign checks.
No, I think the issue is that,
Maybe making sure these positions are filled, so there's 5 people to go to.
well,
No, but it's only two, you said it's only 2 or 3 people, 2 to be a signer. So it doesn't matter
I
if it's 3
think
or
that,
5.
I think it's less that, it's less having people to sign checks and more, that, I'm gonna let Harry address the check issue, but it's more having a coherent, charter which reflects the ways the town should work and not the way that, it's just very cumbersome right now. The way the charter is written makes operating the town very cumbersome at times. This is an example of one of the ways it's cumbersome. Because the charter's not clear on who has to sign checks, and it's in the code, but it's just a mess. And so the check example is just one example of things that need to be changed, but it all needs to be streamlined and updated to reflect the way the town currently runs and to reflect current best management local government practices, if that makes sense. Harry.
No, I was just going to add, to Swabra, you're right, having extra commissioners would help, but unfortunately, I don't know, unless I didn't mention this, but unfortunately, there's nothing can be done until March of 2023. So the commission has voted not to have any special elections or.
And that's something else in the charter. Again, we're going to look at it a different day. We've got a long time,
Right, so-
but that's something else in the charter that needs to be changed.
I just wanted to address why this was stuck with 3 and we can't get to 5. So
We can't do anything about.
not till March 2023 is my understanding.
Yeah, okay. That's a long time.
Yeah,
So they made that decision to just put that in there, no, nothing can be changed until 2023. The commission said, I'm saying.
well,
How did that come?
so the charter, so there are vacancies. And the way the charter is currently written, and you guys have the charter, I'll tell you what section it is. I think it's actually section 11. I know it very well, almost by heart.
Filling vacancy for unexpired.
Yes. And that portion of the charter states that when a commissioner leaves office, the vacancy can be filled one of 2 ways. Within 60 days after leaving office, the commission can appoint somebody. But after that 60 days, if nobody is appointed, unless there is a special election, unless the commission votes to hold a special election, the commissioner in town has to wait until the next general election. So, because we've had so many commissioners resign, and because during the time, one of the commissioners resigned, and then we didn't have a quorum. I can't even explain to you what all the machinations that just went on. But long story short, the commission, the time to appoint people ran out, and the commission has not voted to have an election. So that's how we got to the spot we're in right now.
Any election has a significant financial.
And an election would be expensive. So we know we're going to get a new commissioner in March of 2023. We may get a new commissioner before that, but we're not guaranteed. So, but as it stands right now, we've got 3.
So he has case for 2 years.
Technically, yes.
Technically, yes.
Yes. Well, actually, I can change the ordinance because part of he gave you an ordinance section, not a charter section. So I can no, it's okay. It's okay.
Who are the current 3 commissioners? What are their names?
So I'm going to let the clerk tell you that. I know him too. But it's Ray DeVille, Jeff Jacobs, and Bill Hodgkins. The 3. And then we have Commissioner, whose seats? Commissioner, so Mayor
We have,
Ashira's seat is empty. That's District 5.
correct.
And who else's seat is empty? Gina's seat is empty.
Which is District 1, I believe.
So District 1 and 5 are empty.
I believe so.
So any of you, I don't know who's from District 1 and from District 5, but maybe you'll be running for commission.
But that may be
I just
something else
wanna
you also change.
Clarify, the last meeting, aren't we still within the 60 days from the last commissioner that resigned?
We had and we had a commissioner appointed the very next day.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a
Alright.
commissioner appointed, so that we could have a commission
For
meeting.
which vacancy?
For Commissioner Clark's vacancy,
What's the first name?
Howard Clark, yeah. And he is what district?
I thought he was
So you
District
said
2.
somebody filled his position?
Yeah, somebody was appointed
Why
the
we
very
have
next
3?
day to his position.
Originally, it was 3 before he resigned.
There were 3, and Commissioner Clark resigned, and then the next day, a commissioner was appointed. Yes, so there are still 3. Got 2 vacancies.
So nobody's been replaced, Gina.
Right. Mayor Mohammed's seat is empty, and Commissioner Cohen's seat is empty. So, those are the 2 empty seats. All right, so does anybody have any questions about form of government or anything else you want to discuss? I'm
a bit confused with you were talking about the different type of, the mayor, the manager, and the commission.
right.
And you were saying that the second one,
Commission manager form of government.
I'm a bit confused because I thought you said it's the best way to do it, and then it's not the best way. Maybe I misunderstood.
It may be confusing the way it's written. There's what's called commissioner manager form of government and then commissioner form of government. Commissioner manager is what staff recommends. Commission form of government or commissioner form of government is what we do not recommend. Does that make sense now?
You were comparing it to which state?
Portland, Oregon has a commission, the city of Portland, Oregon is currently a commission form of government. And anybody who wants a copy of my PowerPoint, if you want a copy of it, I can email it to you so you have it.
It's already up on the website as well, just so they know.
And it's got the charter provisions, our charter provisions on the back that need to be changed, as well as everything we've discussed today, including the Portland, Oregon information and a cite to that article that I read today about it.
I have one question. The person has that position, is it in the sense of they have the last word even if the commissioners want it to go this way? The mayor can say, if it's a strong mayor, they can say, no, I want it to go that way.
It depends on what you're talking about, and it depends on the way the charter is written. And I'd have to go back and look at West Palm Beach.
They have strong mayor.
I think, yes, West Palm Beach has strong mayor.
Just so you know, so does the city of Hialeah.
So in the West Palm Beach, it says the mayor shall have the power to veto legislation within 48 hours after the adjournment of any city commission meeting. Ordinances or resolutions vetoed by the mayor shall be considered by the city commission in its next regularly scheduled meeting. And at that meeting, the city commission may pass the ordinance or resolution over the mayor's veto by 4 votes of the commission. So theoretically, yes, the mayor can. That's why they call it strong mayor.
What do we have here?
Currently, we have, what on paper, we're supposed to have a commission form of government. What we really have, and what we want to change the charter to, is commissioner manager form of government. Essentially, that's what we have. We have the commissioners, we have JC, who's the town manager, who runs the town, and he oversees oversees everybody, hires and fires, and everybody, except for me and the town clerk, everybody reports to JC, to the town manager. I report directly to the commission. Town manager reports directly to the commission. The town clerk reports directly to the commission. We're all hired and fired by and there's some other directors too who are hired and fired by the commission.
So the commission is elected and everybody else is hired.
Yes, ma'am. As opposed to a strong mayor, where the mayor would be elected and also run the town in a strong mayor form of government. Now, we have a mayor here, but it's a weak mayor. It's just a mayor who runs the commission meetings. That's it.
Who's that?
Mayor Jeff Jacobs.
But yeah, I thought he was a commissioner.
He's also a commissioner. You start out as a commissioner, and then the commission will elect a mayor. Versus a strong mayor form of government where the people are electing a mayor. The electorate are electing a mayor. Does that make sense? Right.
So you know what?
And I always wonder, why is it that we always get a mayor and we never elect a mayor? Okay.
Right. You don't elect a mayor. Or in Hallandale, for
I
instance.
thought we did.
No, you
No.
elect commissioners and then the commissioner
Commissioners,
appoints a
yeah.
mayor. Versus Hallandale Beach, where the top vote getter in Hallandale Beach is the mayor. That's the way their charter works. So everybody does it a little differently.
So they have a strong mayor.
No, they don't have a strong mayor. That's how their mayor gets to be mayor. It's a
have to
weak
be-
mayor,
Okay.
He's still a weak mayor.
still a weak mayor, but that's how their mayor is determined.
So basically, we never vote on a mayor, that position of.
No.
So they were just.
Not in this
appointed.
town.
I
No.
always wonder why you hear, oh, this is the mayor. I'm like, wait a minute. When are
Not
we-
in this town. We don't elect a mayor. We elect commissioners. Then the commissioners decide amongst themselves who will be the mayor.
But don't they run, okay, from the last time I remember, nobody run against the last mayor and the vice mayor.
Sometimes people run unopposed, yeah.
But it's not in the public, that's what they're saying. It's like within.
Well, what happens is all the commissioners are elected by the public, and then they get up here, the 5 of them, let's assume there are 5, and they elect amongst themselves who's going to govern the commission meetings, basically. They elect the mayor, but it's a weak mayor. It's not a mayor who's going to. Yeah, it's just a title, really. It doesn't have the power that being a strong mayor confers. You're not running. It's still a big deal to be the mayor. I mean, it's still a title. It still shows that the commissioners respect you and they want you to be their leader.
Power.
What now?
I thought the mayor has the power. The mayor.
Not in this town, no. In some towns that is true. In some towns that is very true. But in this town, not so much. So, so next week, we're going to continue our basically study of our charter. And Robert Clark, who is our new Public Works Director, is going to come in and tell us about Public Works. Yeah, next month. What did I say?
Next week.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you keep on saying next.
Getting ahead of myself.
I was saying if you guys
Woo!
want to do something among yourself.
Yeah.
Because you keep on saying next week.
I'm sorry. I'm
I
sorry.
look back at the calendar, I'm like, wait a minute, it's November
No,
15th.
a month. It's a month
Another
from now.
question, why is the meeting of November 15th?
Because before Thanksgiving.
What did I put?
November 15th.
But Monday's not a Thanksgiving.
No, but
It's early this year, right, or late?
it's early. What did I put as the next meeting?
November 15th.
Okay, I was wrong on the deadline for your thing then, because we can do it the 15th, or we can wait until the
Saturday,
Monday
November 15th.
after Thanksgiving, which is the last,
What date is Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving is at the end of the month, that I know.
Man.
It's the
Yes.
25th.
So do you guys want to do it the Monday? So I had, what did I do?
It would be the 29th.
That'll be the 29th,
That would
after
be
Thanksgiving.
That would be after Thanksgiving.
That's the weekend after Thanksgiving.
You guys want to do it Monday, the 29th, which is the Monday after Thanksgiving? I didn't want to do it Monday, the 22nd, because that's the week of Thanksgiving,
week
and
of,
I
yeah.
think everybody's going to be gone or whatever. So I figured either the 15th or the 29th. Which day would you guys rather do it?
Fifteen's fine for me.
Somebody want to make a we'll just keep it, I've got it as the 15th, I'll just keep it as the 15th.
Is that all right with you? Is that?
I'm outnumbered. That's
No,
okay.
I'm.
No, what do you need?
Because I'm fan, I can change it if it works for you. If you need it changed, I'm good. It's all pretty much the same to me.
Thank you, guys.
So we'll keep it the 15th, and we will visit.
Question, I thought it was a set date, like on the, it has to be on the last Monday of the month.
Well, she only did it because of the holiday.
Yeah, I just did it because of
Okay.
Thanksgiving, that's all.
And Christmas changed too.
Yeah, I don't remember what I changed Christmas to
The
either.
rest of them have gone back to the last Monday.
Christmas
of the
is the 20th. I mean, December the 20th. That's the next.
All right, so, Chair, I think we can adjourn, unless anybody has anything else they want to talk about while we're here?
If I could just mention something.
Everybody have stuff that I don't have, so, I mean,
This calendar, the calendar that we got last time.
Oh,
all these highlighted stuff, did you guys highlight it yourself, or?
No,
we
this,
get
were
a-
you here last?
No, she
No, I
wasn't here
wasn't.
last
Yeah.
week. That's why she didn't.
I
have
will
the-
make sure you get the agenda packet from last week.
You gave us this copy of the charter that has all the highlighted stuff and also the calendar
Okay, we'll get you a copy of that.
The Fort Lauderdale Charter.
and the Fort Lauderdale charter, yes. Doesn't have any of that.
Any more questions?
Sure. Oh, I'm sorry, you said you had another question.
Okay, so the time is 7:02. Ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion we adjourn.
I'll second that.
And I third that.
All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Meeting is
Aye.
adjourned.
Thank you, guys.